Hello again, Newcastle families. This is Mrs. Norton, your PBSES coach, coming to you for the next video in our series. The last time I talked to you, we talked about creating a physical space where your child can be successful, as well as teaching them how to get into the habit of keeping that space clean and organized. And today, instead of talking about managing a physical space, we're going to talk about managing time. The first thing I want to note about time is that this issue looks very different if you are a parent of a child in a primary grade, like K1-2, versus if you are a parent of a child in an intermediate grade, 3, 4, and especially 5. I say this as a teacher who went from teaching 5th graders to teaching 1st graders and getting to see firsthand how that cognitive development really impacts how a child can process and take in a schedule. So it's important to me that you know that regardless of the age of your child, they are able to manage a schedule. They are able to keep a routine. They are able to follow a checklist. It just looks different depending on your child's age and any other factors that make your child uniquely them. So during this video, I'm going to show you a couple different ways to help your child manage their time. However, it is possible that none of these will work for your child. That doesn't mean that it's impossible for your child to manage their time. So if you're finding that this video isn't helpful and that you are having a hard time coming up with a system that helps your child manage their time, reach out to your classroom teacher or reach out to me, and we would be delighted to support you as you help your child develop this crucial life skill that will help them as they navigate their academic curriculum online. Whether your child is just starting out in kindergartner or finishing up their last year in elementary as a 5th grader, it is important that they learn to manage their time by using a visual schedule. This can be done in countless ways. The internet, sites like Pinterest are a treasure trove of resources to help you get ideas or to offer templates that help you create a schedule that works for your child. If it's realistic and appropriate for your child, I suggest creating your schedule, whatever you decide it looks like, with your child. Then spend time talking about each part and explaining to your child that this is the routine you will follow each day. Do remember though, that initial introduction to the schedule is only the beginning of your work as parents and as our work as educators. After we have introduced that schedule, we need to reinforce it and review it on a daily basis until it becomes a habit, an effortless and comforting rhythm that our days hold. One of the greatest challenges of creating a schedule for our children is that it imposes a schedule on us that we may or may not be ready for. Many of us grew up in families without routines, without a rhythm to our days. And so imposing that sort of structure on ourselves feels restrictive and uncomfortable. So we hesitate to do the same for our children. Plus, we know it means that will be a schedule for our days as well. If you're someone that finds schedules and routines restrictive, things that you're just afraid to fail at, know that you are not alone. I completely empathize with this dilemma. I encourage you to start to see routines not as unpleasant taskmasters that dictate how we have to spend our days, but rather as tools that help us better enjoy our lives and move through it with ease. Empowering our children with the ability to organize their days, stick to routines, and allow a schedule to help them through their day is setting them up for success that they will enjoy throughout their life. So even though it may be scary, and that's totally understandable, I challenge you to take the risk and try on a schedule. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. Try again. Allow for setbacks. And remember that changing a schedule doesn't mean you failed at it. They are meant to serve you, not the other way around. Once you've taken the plunge and introduced your child to their schedule, one that you've hopefully created together, then you help them implement it. The younger your child is, the more support they will need in the initial stages of following that schedule. You want to be persistent, which can sometimes feel like you're being annoying, but I promise it's worth it in the end. So every time you see your child using their schedule, whether it's moving a card or checking something off their list or putting a sticker on their chart, whatever you have chosen to use, reinforce that. I love how you're using your schedule. Great job. When you see them forgetting, notice and point it out. You might say something like, "Oh, I noticed that the next thing on your schedule is reading, but I see you haven't started that yet. Do you need help getting started?" That constant reinforcement is key in the initial stages of helping your children learn this important habit. It sort of reminds me of sleep training. It's a real pain in the beginning, but the payoff in the end is huge for everyone involved. Now, as a parent, one of the biggest questions you might be having right now is, yeah, that sounds great, but what happens when my child refuses to follow their schedule? That is another video. So my hope is that as you teach your child this exciting new way to move through their school day, they will enjoy the feeling of being organized. There's an intrinsic value to having a schedule and following it, a sense of pride, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of order that really helps our life flow smoothly and makes us feel good about what we're accomplishing during a day. However, there are so many roadblocks that can get in the way of this. And so in other videos, I will be addressing what to do when you encounter different types of behavior in your child that make it difficult to follow this routine. Thank you so much for watching today, parents, and I will see you in our next video. Have a great day.